Well, good morning all. Everybody had a safe, good night last night. Sorry about the noise, we got away from that. I got woken up this morning, somebody banging on my door. It's like, come on, let's get empty. So 7 o'clock, I think we were banging on the door. Let's get this thing going. So I'm empty, and as it turns out, I just got an email that my load in Baltimore is ready. So I think I'm about 90 miles from Baltimore. So I'm already empty. So I didn't film any of that. I was too busy trying to get my shit together and get my eyes open. So we're just gonna give it a little listen down here. Make sure our tires are still around and there's air in them. Mud flap. Everything's good so far. So that's our day so far. Well, that's my day so far. It's almost like in Baltimore, it's almost you got to time it like Toronto. You don't want to go in too early because you'll be sitting in traffic, but you don't want to get in too late, then you got to get back out again, and you'll have traffic. So took some good bug splatter. 124 miles. Sorry, not 90 miles. I'm 124 miles. So I'm 2 hours, 2.5 hours. 2.5 hours to Baltimore. We'll check in from there. This town is tiny. I mean tiny. I think when I pulled in, I was looking at the streets, and you gotta watch when you come into a lot of these older U.S. Towns. A lot of these places, for example, this place I just delivered to, the roads and the town weren't designed or set up or built for trucks our size. You know, a lot of these streets were built when we were pulling, 40s and 48s. We didn't have 53-foot trailers. So you just got to be mindful when you're taking your lefts and your rights, especially your rights. And you notice PA, Ohio, if you look at the electrical poles, they're right out to the curb. They're right out to the curb. There's no give. And a lot of the time you'll come to a corner and there'll be a pole right on the corner. So if you dare cut that corner just a little too short or a little too tight, you will run the side of your trailer right up that pole. I know. I've done it. Luckily for us, there's no pole here. Corners like this are a bitch. I can tell you right now, I'm gonna have to go into the oncoming lane and take some of that to get around this corner, because the cross traffic there, the road we're turning right on, there's no way there's enough room for me to just go around that. So we're just gonna wait for these cars to mosey on through, and then I'm gonna go take some of that lane up over there so I can make this turn. It's really good though. I see that they've set the see if this guy's gonna be nice enough to back it up for us. What do you want me to do? waving at me like it's my fault. I'm at the line. Well, yeah, I know you're at the line. Put it in reverse and back up. As he's got baby Smurfs hanging off the back of his Jeep. That's beautiful. That's beautiful. Anyway, let's try to get out of this town without hitting, clipping, or hurting anything. Oh, it would be ideal to find a Tim Hortons. That would be like winning the lottery, but... Ooh. This is the other thing. When I came in last night, I also was watching around checking out my surroundings, because if I couldn't park there, I was going to have to find a place to park. And this would have been where I would have had to park. Probably down there, a Tractor Supply place. Wow. So far, so good. All right, we will, I guess we got about 2.5 hours, or 2 hours and a bit of driving to do, and we'll see you in Baltimore.
I've been driving down this old road for so long I don't know when. If I could go back in time, you know I'd do it all again. I grew up breathing diesel, driving steel and chrome. You know I worked damn hard to get where I'm at, and I did it on my own. Cause I'm a wheel burner, I was burning down the road. Yes, I'm a wheel burner, this life never gets old. Cause I'm a wheel burner, come on wheel burners, take a ride on the Wheelburner Express.
Just sitting here, driving around, minding my own business, you know, because that's what we do out here. We just drive around aimlessly, minding our own business. And I was sitting here just reflecting or thinking about, we did a live last night, and we had a couple of other YouTubers on. Nevada stopped in, Nomadic Brit stopped in, James Best stuck his head in, and there was a conversation about etiquette, driver etiquette, and what it's lacking, and who are the, without trying to sound like, you know, without blaming or throwing fault, but who is the most responsible or for the lack of driver etiquette. And we had some shit thrown around of guys talking, and you know, it's all these young guys, and a lot of that I do agree with. You know, the young guys come in. We do have a problem in this industry right now where the younger guys are coming in, and they just, you know, you can't tell them nothing. They know it all. They're going to come out here and, you know, they're going to put this thing in gear. They're going to tear up the highway, and they're just going to be the end all be all of the trucking world. Now that's whatever, you know, and they drive around and they're rude. You know, for lack of a better term, they're just rude. But in driving around today, and we were talking about, you know, just some of the little things you do. You know, you don't flash your high beams. You flick your lights off and on. You give your, you know, you flick your tail lights as a thank you. You know, you use your CB. You blah 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 blah. You know, there was a whole bunch of them we went through. And in sitting here today, so far today, I've delivered this morning. I went into Baltimore. I've just got out of Baltimore now, and I'm just heading back north up to Belleville. And I'm starting to realize that it's not just the young guys. If you guys were listening and you're in on that conversation, we really kind of jumped on them a little hard. And I'm noticing now it's some of the older guys. And I don't mean guys that have been driving, you know, 5, 6, 7, 10 years, whatever. I mean guys that have been driving 15, 20, 25 years. And I'm noticing it mostly with lane changes. With lane changes. Guys don't want to use the older guys just seem they don't want to use, I'm too lazy. It's like they've become complacent. You know, they're out here doing a job and it's not something they love doing anymore, so they just don't give a damn. And when that happens, you get complacent. You get complacency. And I'm noticing that now and more with the older guys. You know, they're not, you know, the young guys come in, they still got that fire. They want to go, they want to run. The old guys that have been doing this a while, you know, in this industry tears people up. So, you know, it'll tear up a guy over a 25 or a 30-year trucking career. You know, he lost a marriage, he's lost 2 marriages, he's lost 3 marriages, he's got 4 kids that won't talk to him, he's got, you know, he buried his dog, whatever. And it is a result of this industry, and it makes people bitter. And when they're out here and they're bitter and they're resentful and they don't want to be out here they're out here because they have to be, not because they want to be or because they love doing their job. You know, the old saying is do something you love and you'll never work a day in your life. A lot of guys don't like this anymore. They don't do it. They're just doing it because they have to. You know, they need a paycheck. You know, and that sucks. And there's a lot of them. And those are the guys that I'm finding that just don't give a rat's ass anymore. They just don't give a shit. And they come out and they don't signal. They don't have any kind of manners. They don't have, for lack of, pardon my language, but their give a fuck is gone. You know, their give a fuck get up and left, you know, 10 years ago. And they just don't care anymore. So I'm just sitting there thinking, like, you know what? Give the new guys a bit of a break. Yeah, we rode them pretty hard, and I still do. Any new guy that's coming into the business, if you're gonna hang out with me or you're gonna talk with me, I'm gonna ride you. I'm gonna ride you like a one-hump fucking camel. Why? Because I want you to succeed. I want you to do well. It's the old adage, you're gonna hate me now, but you're gonna thank me later. But I'm just thinking about that. New guys, we ride hard, but the old guys, we more than often we overlook it and we give them a break, or we give them the benefit of the doubt. Oh, he's been out here for 30 years. He can do anything. He's done it all. Yeah, but he's not happy out here, and he's causing problems for the rest of us. So anyway, I don't know why the hell that popped into my head. I was thinking about that. I thought I'd share it with you. So let's get up to Belleville. We're going to Kellogg's in Belleville, and we're going to deliver this. We should be able to make it. It was 525 miles from where I picked up. So once we get, I should be able to make the bridge before I only had 8 hours left, so I should be able to make the bridge before the 8 hours and get the 2 extra hours in Canada, and then it's only an hour and a half down. Good morning. And it is a good morning. We got some beautiful sunshine out here. But with that comes the beautiful heat. Damn is hot. I'm in King of Prussia, Pennsylvania, and it is 7:30 in the morning right now, and it's already 30 degrees out here. Like, I like the great weather, but I'm not a hot weather guy. Like, this is just too much. It's 7:30 in the morning and it's already 30 degrees. So I got in last night and I was gonna do the finishing up of the video last night, and you know what? I just didn't have it in me, to be honest. Tell you the truth, I just didn't. I was going to do it, and then I got in, and then I was like, okay. I offloaded in the morning. I reloaded a few hours later. I ran 620 miles, and you know what? I was tired. I got into bed last night. I got parked last night. I called and said goodnight to Dar. I didn't even eat dinner. I ate a couple pieces off a block of cheese, had a couple Triscuits, and said fuck it, and went to sleep. I woke up this morning, so here I am this morning. So we're gonna end this off with this piece here, but should have been last night, and I apologize, but man, I was just too tired. I didn't have it in me. But I was sitting there thinking about something. I think what we're gonna start doing, today's Friday, so it's obviously the end of the week. And I think what we're gonna start doing is I'm gonna start well, I already track my business day to day as it goes. My entire business, the whole truck, what it does, how much fuel, what it costs, my cents per mile, all my fixed costs, my variable costs, everything like that. So I think what I'm gonna do is just to give you guys an idea of what it costs to run one of these things for a week. So every Friday at the end of the week, regardless whether I've run 3,500 miles, which this week by the time I get back up to Toronto, or back up to, Iroquois, I should be somewhere around 3,500 miles, and I'm paid by the mile. So, but regardless whether I get 3,500 miles, whether I do 2,200 miles, it makes no difference. I will break it down on Friday, excuse me, and give you those costs. I got no problem being transparent. I got no problem with you seeing what kind of money these trucks make. And I think it's a good idea that if you're thinking of doing this and you're thinking of becoming an owner-operator, you know, get an idea of what you're in for. You know, these trucks literally cost barrels of money to run down the road. They are not cheap. So what I'll do is I'll break it down for you and I'll show you. If I had a profitable week, I'll tell you I had a profitable week. If I took a loss or if I broke even, I'll tell you I broke even or I took a loss. Just to give you an idea. You know, how many times, if any of you guys that aren't truck drivers, you see these trucks, you see us driving down the road, you don't give it a second thought. You think, oh yeah, there's a truck driver, he makes probably 20 bucks an hour, blah, blah, blah. But what does it take? Literally, what is the business behind the truck? There's the trucking business, which is what we do, right? The trucking business, we go from here, we pick up, we go there, we deliver, da-da-da, drive up and down the road. That's the trucking business. But then there's the business of trucking. And that's all the intricacies that go on behind the scenes, all of the things that make our business run. And there's so much to it. So I'm gonna open that door for you and I'm gonna show you some of it. I'm not gonna obviously break it out, because even then I don't even know all of it, you know, for who could. But I'll show you and share this with you to give you an idea. So you have an idea of what these things, it'll give you maybe a little more respect for the owner-operators, these guys out here that are owner-operators, that are doing this with the rates and what the costs, and you blow a tire and fuel and, you know, literally what it costs for this truck to go from here to there. How much, everybody thinks about, oh yeah, they made money, but how much did it cost, right? So I'm gonna maybe do that. I'm gonna show you that probably every Friday at the end of the week. And we'll just use me as the example. This is what my truck did. This is what my business did, and this is how it worked. So I think we're not going to do it, today's being Friday, we're not going to do it today, obviously. I think we'll start fresh next week and I'll give it to you next Friday. So with that, you know what? I'm going to get back into my girl back there because it is hotter than shit here. As you can see, I'm sweating. I've had enough of this already. It's 7:30 in the morning. They're still offloading me. So I'm going to go get my green light, get my truck started and get ready to get the hell out of here. I've got to go 30 miles down the road, 45 miles down the road, get my reload. And I should be back up at the yard sometime around dinner. So with that, we'll see you down the road.